Are you afraid you might not live past 82, even though your blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart look perfectly fine? Most people think old age ends because of disease. But the truth is far more silent and more emotional. The body doesn't shut down because it's broken. It shuts down because it's forgotten how to feel alive. In this video, we'll uncover one of the most overlooked causes of early decline in men and women after 60. Not heart disease, not cancer, but the quiet erosion of sensual connection. I'm Dr. James, and for over 30 years, I've helped older adults not only extend their lifespan, but reclaim the energy, dignity, and intimacy they thought was gone forever. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how reconnecting with your body in one very specific way can improve your circulation, restore deep sleep, awaken vitality, and even help you live longer with more joy. Stay with me until the end, because the last truth may feel controversial, but it could be the turning point you've been waiting for. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now, let's get started. Insight number 1. The body forgets how to feel alive. As people age, we expect them to slow down, physically, mentally, emotionally. But what if I told you that it's not age that steals vitality? It's disconnection. You see, the human body is not just a machine, it's a sensory instrument. Every cell in your skin, every nerve in your spine, every breath you take, it's designed to feel. And when that feeling is ignored, shut down, or suppressed for years, something quietly begins to wither. After 60, many men and women stop touching their own bodies with curiosity or warmth. They no longer explore. They no longer stimulate. They stop feeling pleasure. And when the body goes too long without pleasure, circulation slows, hormone production drops, sleep becomes shallow, muscles weaken, the immune system falters. This is not just philosophy. It's physiology. Dopamine, oxytocin, nitric oxide, all these compounds respond to touch, to sensuality, to connection, and when they're not activated, the body enters a slow, invisible decay. Not because it's broken, but because it's been abandoned. Even the brain suffers. Areas responsible for memory, mood, and attention are all stimulated by rhythmic movement, breathing, and yes, even self-pleasure. Without it, neurons dull, life loses color. You stop looking forward to tomorrow. I met a man named Harold, 78, widowed for over a decade. He was quiet, polite, and fading. His appetite was gone. His steps were slow. He had no major illness, just a sense of hollowness. I asked him a question most doctors never ask. When was the last time you truly enjoyed being in your body? He looked away. Maybe 15 years ago, he said. That silence told me more than any lab result ever could. Harold didn't need more pills. He needed permission. I gave him a gentle plan. Not exercise, not medication. Just reconnection. 10 minutes a day. Breathing. Gentle movement. Touch with intention. 2 weeks later, he walked into my office with a light in his eyes I hadn't seen before. I remembered something, he said. I remembered what it felt like to want to be here. The body doesn't age because the calendar moves forward. It ages because we stop inhabiting it. We treat it like a vehicle we no longer polish. But your body isn't asking for youth. It's asking to be felt, touched, loved again. Wake it gently. Reconnect with it. And it may surprise you. It still remembers how to feel alive. Insight number 2. Masturbation after 60 is not a vice. It's vital. For most older adults, the word masturbation still carries embarrassment, shame, guilt. It was something meant for youth, for secrecy, for those days. But here's the truth. After 60, healthy self-stimulation may no longer be optional. It may be essential. You see, the prostate is not just a reproductive gland. It's a vascular sponge, rich in blood vessels and nerves, responsive to touch and circulation. When left inactive, it stagnates. Blood flow decreases. Inflammation increases. And over time, that quiet neglect leads to swelling, discomfort, even increased risk of prostate disease. Regular sexual activity, including masturbation, helps keep blood flowing through the pelvic region. It oxygenates tissues. It helps flush the prostate. It reduces pressure buildup. It improves sleep by releasing melatonin and calming the nervous system. And perhaps most importantly, it sends a powerful message to the brain. This body still has purpose. Studies now show that men who maintain regular sexual expression, alone or with a partner, have lower risks of depression, better memory function, and even stronger cardiovascular health. Why? Because pleasure isn't just a feeling. It's a physiological event, a hormone reset, a circulatory revival, a message to your immune system that life is still worth protecting. I once worked with a man named Elias, 69, retired engineer, brilliant mind, sharp tongue. But behind that wit was something heavy. "Doc," he said, "I just don't feel like myself anymore. I'm not sick, but I'm not alive either." We talked, not just about his symptoms, but his habits. He hadn't been sexually active in over 5 years, not with his wife, not alone, not at all. When I gently asked why, he gave a familiar answer. I thought it wasn't appropriate at my age. That belief was killing his spirit. I gave him permission. Scientific reassurance. A new lens. That evening, he went home and gave himself 10 minutes. Without guilt, without performance, without expectation. Just presence. A week later, he came back with tears in his eyes. "I felt something shift," he said. "Like my body forgave me." The point isn't about lust, it's about life. Self-touch after 60 isn't sin, it's self-care. It reminds the brain to release serotonin, the heart to open, the lungs to breathe deeper. Your body isn't ashamed of you. It's been waiting for your return. Give yourself that chance. Not for pleasure alone, but for presence. Because sometimes one act of gentle reconnection can do more than medicine ever will. Insight number 3. The real damage is the belief that it's too late. Most of the suffering I see in older adults doesn't come from the body. It comes from the mind, the belief that certain things no longer belong to them. That pleasure is for the young. That desire fades with dignity. That after 60, you're not supposed to feel that spark anymore. But the truth is that belief is the real disease. Because when the mind says no, the body listens. It stops asking, stops responding. The prostate becomes less active, the brain's dopamine receptors dull, the circulatory system slows, and soon the entire system begins to behave as if life is winding down. Not because it must, but because it was told to. This kind of internal shutdown isn't sudden, it's slow. A man stops exploring, a woman stops dancing. A moment of arousal is dismissed as silly, and little by little, the body fades. Hormones decline not just because of age, but because there's no longer a reason to release them. Testosterone follows behavior. Dopamine follows meaning. Intimacy follows permission. And when the permission is revoked, life gets smaller. Angela, 74, had raised 4 children, lost her husband at 67, and hadn't felt touch. Not real, intentional touch. In years. She wasn't sick, she wasn't lonely. But something in her had quietly shut down. When we spoke, she told me, "I still get urges sometimes, but I just tell myself, that was another life." I asked her, "Do you miss that version of yourself?" She nodded, tearfully. We worked together slowly, not with medications or therapies, just with honesty. We reframed her story. From aging is ending, to aging is returning. Within months, she reported feeling more energetic, more curious, and even began painting again. something she hadn't done in over a decade. Her body hadn't died. It had been waiting. If you've ever said to yourself, "It's too late for me," I invite you to question that. Not with words, but with action. Place your hand on your own chest. Feel your breath. Feel that pulse beneath your skin. That is not silence. That is possibility. Your body doesn't know what year it is. It only knows whether it is being used, loved, awakened, or not. And you still have time. You still have access. You still belong here. Insight number 4. Healing begins when you reconnect. Gently, daily, without shame. If your body has been silent for years, don't rush to awaken it like a machine. Reconnection is not about performance. It's about presence. You don't need drugs. You don't need someone else. You need rhythm, ritual, and a willingness to return. After 60, the body responds best not to intensity, but to sincerity. That's why I often recommend what I call the daily restoration practice. A simple 10-minute ritual to help you feel again. Not for arousal, not for outcome, but for remembering that you are still here. Here's how it begins. Step 1. Prepare the space. Not for a workout, not for medicine, but for you. Light a candle. Dim the room. Turn off the noise. Make this a sacred moment, because you are sacred. Step 2. Breathe. Deeply, slowly, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let each breath land in your belly. Let your nervous system know we are safe. We are allowed to feel. Step 3. Awaken your body with soft touch. Start at the neck, shoulders, arms. Move gently over your chest, your belly, your thighs. Not sexually, sensually, with kindness. Let your skin feel warmth again. Step 4. Follow curiosity. If arousal comes, don't resist it. Don't chase it. Let it rise and fall like waves. You are not doing this to achieve. You are doing this to be present. Step 5. End with gratitude. Place your hands over your heart. Whisper or think, "Thank you." Not to anyone else, but to your own body. The one that carried you this far. The one that still wants to carry you further. I gave this method to many patients over the years. Men and women who thought they were too old to start again. One man, 81 years old, told me after just 1 week of doing this, "I didn't realize how much I missed myself." That line never left me, because that's what this is really about. Not reclaiming youth, but reclaiming yourself. So please, if you've made it this far into the video, try this just once. Tonight. Not for anyone else. Not even for results. Just to see what happens when you come home to your own skin. Because healing doesn't always come in pills, procedures, or plans. Sometimes healing begins in a quiet room, with a breath, and a touch. And a man or woman who finally decides to feel again. Insight number 5. The biggest barrier is not the body. It's the shame you carry. By the time most men and women reach their 70s, they've carried a lifetime of silent beliefs. "I don't deserve to feel this anymore. I'll embarrass myself if I try." It's too late to change. These thoughts don't come from the body. They come from culture, from trauma, from decades of hearing that aging means drying up, emotionally, sexually, spiritually. And over time, that shame seeps in deeper than any illness. It disconnects you from the most important truth. You still belong in your body. Biologically, the nervous system stores emotional trauma in the form of tension, tightness, even numbness. When we feel guilt or unworthiness, we actually brace against sensation. We disconnect from pleasure on purpose, to avoid judgment. But the cost is high. The pelvic floor tightens, circulation reduces, arousal becomes more difficult, and eventually, the body forgets how to respond at all. Not because it can't, but because it was told not to. And here's the tragic irony. The shame becomes the sickness, not the desire itself. I once sat with a man named George, 75, who hadn't touched himself in over 20 years. Not once. I was raised to believe it was wrong, he told me. That it was childish. That grown men didn't need that. And for a long time, he believed it. Until one day, he found himself sitting alone in the dark. Not because he was tired, but because he no longer felt connected to anything. I don't even know what I'm supposed to feel anymore, he said. I feel like my body stopped waiting for me. I told him gently, it hasn't. It's still here, and it's still yours. We worked slowly, with breath, with compassion, with simple reconnection. Not to chase performance, but to rebuild trust. Within weeks, he started smiling again. Within months, he told me something I'll never forget. I used to think pleasure made me weak. Now I know. Denying it made me weaker. If you've ever felt shame around your body, around your desire to feel again, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not inappropriate. You are not too old. You are human. You are worthy. And your body still wants you. It's not asking for perfection. It's asking for permission. So tonight, give yourself that permission. Not because you have something to prove, but because you still have something to feel. And that feeling, that soft, quiet aliveness, is the very thing that just might save your life. Thank you for being here today, for choosing to listen, not just with your mind, but with your heart. We've explored one of the most misunderstood but powerful keys to aging well: reconnecting with your own body, your own desire, your own sense of aliveness. It's not always easy, but it's always possible. What spoke to you the most in this video? Was there a moment you recognized yourself in the story? I'd love to know. Please leave a comment and share one insight or feeling you're taking with you. Your words might just encourage someone else who's quietly watching, silently hoping. If this video touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. Because every older man and woman deserves to hear the truth about their body without shame and without fear. I'll see you in the next video.